So I was shopping in the store the other day when I kept coming across bioengineered food ingredients when reading different food labels. Bioengineered food ingredients are in a variety of different foods, from cereals, granola bars, chips, many desserts, soft drinks, canned foods, candy, and even added into some meats like chicken. Sometimes you can barely see it labeled on the package, but it's on the bottom, usually below the listed ingredients. So what are bioengineered foods? Bioengineered foods are another name for GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. These are naturally occurring organisms that have been altered in a lab to change its genetic makeup. GMOs are created by splicing genes from one species into another. Transgenic crops are then created with plant varieties that have one or more genes altered through the use of genetic technologies. The standard definition of bioengineered foods states that it contains detectable genetic material that has been modified through rDNA techniques, where the modification could not otherwise occur through conventional breeding or found in nature. Recombinant DNA technology is a type of genetic modification in which scientists combine different DNA from different sources to produce a transgenic organism that expresses a desired trait that isn't present in the original organism. Genetic modification is used in agriculture to improve crop protection or to increase production in a particular food. Genetic modification is used in animals and microorganisms. So what are the potential benefits and adverse effects of bioengineered or GMO foods? The potential benefits of genetically modified organisms include improved taste and nutritional quality of food, increased production of meat, eggs, and milk, crops that grow fast with increased resistance, higher yields, and can be grown in inhospitable soils, the use of less harmful herbicides and insecticides, the conservation of water, soil, and energy, improved animal health, and more efficient food processing. Foods that have an extended shelf life and last longer, expiring in years. Foods that can be mass-produced to help people in need. Even though GMO foods can last longer, it isn't necessarily going to be good for your health. The adverse or harmful effects of genetically modified organisms or bioengineered foods include gene transfer of bioengineered or GMO foods to cells of the body, or to bacteria in the gastrointestinal tract. Unintentional crossing of genes through cross-pollination. This can result in undesirable plants, like superweeds, that can tolerate conventional herbicides. It can also taint foods with non-food grade ingredients. Unintended gene crossing or outcrossing were revealed when traces of a type of maize corn that was approved for use only in animal feed appeared in maize products for human consumption in the United States. More adverse effects of bioengineered or genetically modified foods include the development of new diseases that can attack plants, animals, and humans, the loss of biodiversity of plants and animals, the production of bacteria that are resistant to all antibiotics, the potential for only a few food companies and countries to control the majority of the world food production, like the seed industry, and the creation of biological weapons, and increased risk of bioterrorism. Many people oppose genetic engineering because it's unnatural and unethical to alter the genes of any organism and has adverse effects on the environment. The potential long-term risk and dangers of bioengineered foods or genetically modified organisms are still unknown and may outweigh the potential short-term benefits. To bypass foods with bioengineered food ingredients, read food labels, and opt out on foods that contain these ingredients. You can also purchase organic foods, as they will not have bioengineered food ingredients or be genetically modified. Bioengineered ingredient labels on food and food packaging will include a small seal or text that says bioengineered or derived from bioengineered or genetically modified foods. Complaints enforcement is done when consumers make a complaint with the USDA or United States Department of Agriculture if they suspect a grocery store, manufacturer, or importer is knowingly using a bioengineered food ingredient or bioengineered food. The USDA will evaluate and make a decision to further investigate a complaint. A study done in 2014 revealed that 72% of adults felt that GMOs or bioengineered ingredients have to be labeled. In 2016, the United States Congress passed the National Bioengineered Food Disclosure Standard, and on January 1, 2022, a uniform national standard went into effect, where bioengineered food ingredients will be labeled on food packages that contain bioengineered food ingredients. The full list of bioengineered food ingredients include number 1, alfalfa. Alfalfa has been genetically modified to be resistant to herbicides. Number 2, apples, Arctic varieties. Arctic apples are genetically engineered and modified to prevent browning. This occurs by adding an extra strand of RNA, as referred to as gene silencing. This genetic engineering silences the enzyme that causes apples to brown. The idea of Arctic apples is to reduce food waste, where apples can be sold as pre-sliced packages. Number 3, canola, also known as rape seeds. Canola has been genetically modified to be resistant to herbicides. Canola is widely used in cooking and in manufactured foods. Number 4, corn. Corn is genetically modified to help farmers control weeds and prevent crop loss. GMO corn is turned into oil and used in many processed foods and drinks. GMO corn is also used to feed livestock and poultry too. Number 5, cotton. Cotton has been genetically modified to increase yields and become resistant to diseases. Cotton seeds are used to make oil and are present in foods like granola snacks, cereals, and chips. Number 6, eggplant. Berry Bt begun varieties. Eggplant is genetically modified to produce a protein that is toxic to certain insects, but not toxic to humans or animals. Number 7, papaya. Ring spot virus resistant varieties. Most commercially grown papaya fruit has been genetically modified to be resistant to the papaya ring spot virus. This occurs by inserting a gene from the virus into the papaya's DNA, making the papaya immune to the virus. This allows for more production from the crop. Number 8, pineapple. Pink flesh varieties. Pineapple is genetically modified to resist pests and viruses. GMO pineapples can also have delayed ripening. GMO pineapple's flesh is intentionally turned pink instead of being yellow. Number 9, potatoes. Potatoes have been genetically modified to reduce browning and to be resistant to pests and late blight, the disease that caused the Irish potato famine. Some potato chips and fries used in restaurants and sold in stores can be GMO. Number 10, salmon. Aqua Advantage. Aqua Advantage salmon is genetically modified Atlantic salmon that grows twice as fast. Number 11, soybeans. Soybeans have been genetically modified to be resistant to herbicides for weeds and resistant to pests. GMO soybeans are turned into oil and used in many processed foods, drinks, seasonings, and sauces. Number 12, squash. Summer cold protein virus resistant varieties. Summer squash like zucchini have been genetically modified to resist different viruses. Number 13, sugar beet. Sugar beets are genetically modified to be resistant to herbicides for weeds, insects, and disease control. And number 14, sugarcane. Bt insect resistant varieties. Sugarcane has been genetically modified with the Bt gene to resist the cane burrer insect and be drought tolerant. The added sugarcane and modified squash varieties will go into effect on the compliance date of June 23, 2025. Foods that contain less than 5% of bioengineered substances are not required to be disclosed if the substances are unintentional or incidentally present. Genetically modified organisms are allowed in some countries and outlawed in others. 6 countries grow almost 100% of the world's genetically modified crops: the United States, Argentina, Canada, Brazil, China, and Paraguay. There are regions within the United States and Canada that have successfully banned the production of GMOs, including several counties in California and the Canadian province of Prince Edward Island in Canada. The European Union has strict regulations on GMOs. There isn't a blanket ban on GMOs, and each state within the European Union can decide if they want to allow GMOs into their country. Countries like France, Germany, Austria, Greece, Hungary, the Netherlands, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Bulgaria, Poland, Denmark, Malta, Slovenia, Italy, and Croatia have banned GMOs. Russia has also banned GMOs. Although Russia is located in Europe, they aren't a part of the European Union. Other countries around the world that have banned GMOs include Asian countries like Kyrgyzstan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Bhutan. In South and Central America, Peru, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Belize have banned GMOs. In Africa, Madagascar and Algeria have banned GMOs. While all these countries have banned the cultivation of GMOs, most of these countries still allow GMO imports. The United States Department of Agriculture reports that 52% of all corn crops, 79% of all cotton crops, and 87% of all soybean crops grown in the United States are genetically engineered varieties. We will take a look at a few more examples of foods with bioengineered food ingredients. Let's check out these yogurt toppers. They contain bioengineered food ingredients. If you look at the ingredients, the bioengineered ingredients are most likely the soy ingredients, like the soy protein isolate and soy lecithin, and the canola ingredients, like the canola oil. The sugar can also be bioengineered too. Below the bioengineered labeling, you will see a text that says learn more at askgeneralmills.com, so we'll go to their website and check it out. When arriving at their website, we'll click on do you use GMO ingredients in your products? And General Mills' answer is in many of our products, yes. Foods often contain genetically modified bioengineered ingredients in the United States. Many of our products do as well. So there's a confirmation that this brand uses GMO and bioengineered ingredients in their products. We'll take a look at one more example of foods with bioengineered food ingredients. With these Pop-Tarts, if you look at the bottom of the back of the box, you will see a text that says contains a bioengineered food ingredient. If you look at the ingredients, the bioengineered food ingredient can be the sugar, high fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, corn syrup, cornstarch, modified cornstarch, or soy lecithin. Foods with non-GMO verified labels will not have bioengineered or GMO ingredients in them. So read food labels and choose the best foods for enhanced health, for you and your family.